From the Philippines, this is WALDY CARBONELL, Kawal ng Demokrasya or Defender of Democracy. Again, I am coming to you because I was asked to do another live reporting through Facebook and YouTube about what's obtaining here in the Philippines. We are now on the fourth day of the implementation of the anti-terror bill. The anti-terror bill is a newly crafted law by the Senate and Congress. In the Philippines, we have two levels of legislation, the Senate and the lower house. But the congressmen call it the bigger house. The bigger house or the lower house or Congress of the Philippines, otherwise known in Filipino as Batasan Pambansa, recently, of course you all know this because I have reported it, voted against the renewal of franchise of the Philippine major TV network, the ABS-CBN. Historically, ABS-CBN as a media institution was also one of the first media institutions shut down by then dictator Ferdinand Marcos. And I was one of those who practically grabbed back the ABS-CBN from the clutches of Marcos' crony Roberto Benedicto and his Candaon broadcasting system. I remembered when people backed me up in going inside the ABS-CBN compound and drove away the remnants of the Marcos media people who were manning illegally the ABS-CBN compound under the directorship or management of the Candaon broadcasting system owned by Roberto Benedicto, a close-in crony of Ferdinand Marcos. Now under Duterte, the tyrant Duterte who fashioned himself as President of the Republic of the Philippines, has taken over, or rather has kicked away the ABS-CBN franchise through the 70 senators under his thumb, whose name I have submitted to the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations under or care of Senator Marcia Blackburn. Thank you very much, Senator Blackburn. And here I am, and I'm ready, but for the COVID restriction, I cannot go there to swear under oath before the Senate Committee about my report. But be assured that the moment I will have a little elbow room, I will escape from these pandemic protocols and go there and swear before the Senate about the authenticity and what I know about the corruption and the terror being that's gripping the country at the moment. Right now, right this morning, there are already about 15 groups of like-minded, freedom-loving Filipinos who went and filed to the Supreme Court testing or contesting the anti-terror bill for its utter disregard to human rights against the provisions of the Philippine Constitution, Section 3, Article 12, that says that Filipinos have the right to freedom of the press, freedom to express grievances, right of peaceable assembly, and all this have been done away by the anti-terror bill. And the anti-terror bill comes up with the proviso that there will be an anti-terror committee under the baton of President Duterte, who will solely determine whether one is a terrorist or not. And it is on this score that if you are a terrorist, you will be charged, you will be arrested without being charged, and incarcerated for 24 days without question. The anti-terror bill, anti-terror law, legalizes this and makes it a well backup stunt or the gripping power of the Philippine National Police and the Armed Forces of the Philippines. To us who have studied this anti-terror bill and who had survived the martial law of Mr. Marcos, we can clearly see the similarity. At least Mr. Marcos was honest enough to declare martial law, but this president, this tyrant Duterte, is utilizing COVID-19 as an excuse in order to clamp down on the people's free will or freedom of movement. Not content with that, he had fashioned a way, just in case COVID-19 really gets out of the way, then he has already one martial law in place, which is the anti-terror bill or anti-terror law. Sometimes people like me who read a lot, and I have said before that I have read this Wuhan virus written by Dean Koontz, an American novelist. That's the name, Dean Koontz with a K. And he wrote in 1981 about the Wuhan 400 biological virus that will be affecting multitudes of people around the world, which is happening now. This morning I read at the internet that the American Federal Bureau of Investigation has arrested an American scientist from Boston University who participated in the Wuhan biological laboratory in fashioning this COVID-19 pandemic virus. It is in this score, therefore, that I am appealing to the Senate to please watch our case filed at the Supreme Court of the Philippines with the provision of the Magnitsky Law being invoked by Filipinos like me in order to be used against these justices who may find it in their heart or who may find it necessary out of fear or self-interest to work against the Filipino people and uphold this direct attack on the Bill of Rights of the Filipinos by judging on the legality of the anti-terror law. Perhaps I will have to add up all the names, but I'm still waiting on how they will be voting. I want to be fair with the justices, but already I have some information, advanced information, that they are already secured in their number in upholding the legality of this highly unconstitutional and illegal law known as anti-terror law. The anti-terror law, I have been warned, will be used against me in stifling my freedom. In fact, they have already started scuttling away my phone paths reporting because the station is now locked down and I have to resort to telephone calls in order to report or to continue with my commentary. But barring that now, I am resorting to the Facebook and the YouTube. Hopefully that the forces of Duterte cannot influence the Facebook and the YouTube to clamp down on my freedom to report and to appear and to appeal before the Senate of the United States of America, invoking the Magnitsky Law, not to entertain the visa applications of all these 70 congressmen who voted against press freedom or the ABS-CBN institution, media institution, because I stand pat on my statement that what the 70 traitorous and idiotic congressmen did was not just to knock down the chairman emeritus, who they have labeled as an American citizen, Mr. Gabi Lopez, as if being an American is a crime, as if being an American citizen is a no-no in the Philippines, while Chinese invaders under Xi Jinping are warmly welcomed in this country. Something must be wrong with the nuts of Duterte, but of course that is a foregone conclusion. Now, what I will do is act as a watchdog. No, I don't like the word dog. As a watchman or as a sentinel for democracy in the Philippines, and I will be continually dialoguing and reporting to the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations through Senator Marcia Blackburn about what's happening here in the Philippines. Next week, or after the hearing of the legality or constitutionality of the anti-terror law, I will be reporting how the justices, Supreme Court justices of the Philippines voted. And I will be watching it very closely. I will be reporting it very succinctly and directly to the Committee on the Foreign Relations in order to have their visas revoked, because while America is already emblazoned in its glorious national anthem that America is the home of the free and land of the brave, or vice versa, land of the brave and home of the free, I wish that America will not add another line. It is also the sanctuary of Filipino traitors, and a sanctuary of Filipino congressmen who acted as crocodiles devouring freedom in the Philippines. That will be the underlying slogan that I will be always inculcating in the minds and hearts of every peace-loving, freedom-loving American. Do not let your country be the sanctuary of these culprits, these uncouth barbarians who fashion themselves after having themselves elected through various means, foul or hook or crook. They are allowed, or they will be allowed, to go to America. I will be pleading to the American people to write your congressmen, to write your senators, not to do so, because we have been friends and we do not want you to be cuddling these uncouth barbarians who calls themselves elected officials of the Philippines, but in reality traitors and crocodiles of the Philippine Republic. I will also be addressing the same message to the European Union, and I will be furnishing them also the names of all those people who have backed up the anti-terror law and who have sponsored it, and also those senators who have likewise lent a hand to the persecution of the ABS-CBN media network. The shutting down or the rejection of the application for franchise of renewal of franchise of the ABS-CBN, when denied, did not only deliver a knockdown blow to the head of the ABS-CBN. They have dislodged 11,000 workers, therefore 11,000 families. But to my mind, the biggest blow was the solar plexus against press freedom, which is the center and the heart of all democratic institutions and democratic countries all over the world. This is for this reason that I will be sending the same Facebook delivery or message to the European Union. Also, I will be furnishing the Australian Parliament and even the Diet of the Republic of Japan. I believe that now COVID-19 is being used and is being set aflame by this administration in order to tighten the reins, tighten the stranglehold on the Filipino people. And it is for this reason, therefore, that I will be continually submitting to you from time to time my emails about what's really happening in the Philippines, who are the culprits, who are these generals who've been announcing that they will be conducting a house-to-house search in order to flush out the alleged COVID-19 patients. And the rationale by this PNP chief is the police are in better position to investigate criminals, and they have the training to investigate criminals. Therefore, as early as now, they are already treating the COVID-19 victims as criminals, and therefore it will rationalize or give emphasis to the legality of their illegal searches against the provisions of the Constitution. Now, the Philippine officialdom, those elected officials, are preparing a constitutional change. They call it Cha-Cha, which I will be delving on after this particular program. In the meanwhile, again, I am appealing to the American people. I'm appealing to the senators of the United States of America, specifically the Committee on Foreign Relations. Attention there, Senator Marcia Blackburn, that America is known to be the home of the brave, the land of the free. I appeal to you not to make it the sanctuary of the uncouth barbarians that making the hell out of this government in the Philippines. I am WALDY CARBONELL, Kawal ng Demokrasya. Good evening and mabuhay to you all, my American friends.